welcome to NonProfit CEO Summit. And I have here with me a beautiful group of women who have been involved in the nonprofit industry, some for many years, some for just a few, but I imagine that between the 7 or 8 of us, we have at least 100 years experience right here. And so with that comes lots of wisdom, comes lots of knowledge, comes lots of experience. And we are very excited to be able to come with you guys today to share a bit about building your nonprofit from the ground up for success, as well as building your nonprofit board. So get ready. Again, get your pencils out, get your notebook out. You never know what you're going to hear here, but I know that it's going to be a wealth of information that's going to be shared. So with that, ladies, I'm going to give you all an opportunity to introduce yourselves. Please be sure that you share where you're at, tell them about your nonprofit background, and then also any about how long you've been in the nonprofit industry, okay? And I've not introduced myself. My name is Tiffany Bell. I am the founder and the host for this year's conference, NonProfit CEO. I have worked in and out of the nonprofit sector off and on for about 25 years. I love helping nonprofits to grow. I believe that all nonprofits can and should be profitable nonprofits. And when I say profitable, it's profitable not just in money, but it's also being profitable in regard to being able to build a healthy and strong team, having a long-term plan and strategy in place for your nonprofit to be able, so that you're building a lasting legacy after you have stepped away, and as well as just in general making an impact on the community. So with that, I would love to hear from you, Ms. Barbie, if you could tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I am Barbie Engel. I'm the president of the International Pain Foundation, and I have about 20 years in nonprofit work behind me, and hopefully I'll have 20 more to look forward to. I love helping other people. In the area of focus that I concentrate on the most is chronic pain and rare disease, and we work with people with 150 different chronic pain diseases, including physical pain, spiritual pain, and mental pain. And we do education, awareness, and access to care for patients around the world.
Love it. Dr. Sonja Stinson, you're next up.
I am Dr. Sonja Stinson. I am from Chicago. I have at the present nonprofit that I founded, it's 32 years. But as a nonprofit person that loves nonprofits, it's probably been about 43 or 45 years of starting 2 nonprofits or 3. I love to help nonprofits. I'm all about legacy. I'm all about startups. I really work with those beginners who really want to do a nonprofit organization. Like Tiffany and all of you, I love helping nonprofits, and I love helping them beyond themselves. So I'm really all about creating a legacy that once they step away to do whatever, that they have a legacy and the nonprofit doesn't fall. So that is my passion.
Very good. Marquetta Finley.
All right. Hello, I am Marquetta Finley, and I am the founder of Extraordinary Business Consulting, and I have 10 years in the nonprofit industry. I've been blessed to serve in many roles. I've been in executive leadership as president and CEO, as an executive director, chief operating officer, and a director of development. So I'm currently consulting nonprofits and for-profits, and I absolutely love working with nonprofits. I love to see them grow to scale, and I love to help them advance their mission. Because behind every mission is people, and I really love to see people transformed and impacted by the wonderful work that a lot of nonprofits are doing. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's a lot of history here, and
yes,
really grateful to be here. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All righty, Pri, it's your turn.
Hi, my name is Pri. I go by the name of Pri Speaks. I am a motivational speaker and life coach. What I do is I help women to love themselves, truly just value themselves so that they can gain confidence and, truly live to be the best version of themselves. I'm very new to the nonprofit world, but my purpose is to serve and to help others. So that's why I love it, and that's why I'm here. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Love it, love it, love it. So I think that whether or not you've been in the nonprofit industry for many years, like Dr. Stinson, or if you're just new to the field, I think it's really the heart behind why we do what we do. That's whether or not, again, it's for-profit or nonprofit. At the end of the day, it's all about trying to provide a product, trying to provide a service for the people that we have an opportunity to share life with. And so, Pri, it is a pleasure to be able to connect with you today. Next up, Dr. Tekima Dorsey.
Hola, everyone. Yes, my name is Dr. Tekima Dorsey, and I hail from a place where you can catch crabs, buy crabs, and purchase the biggest crab cake ever, and that is none other than the Baltimore, Maryland. I am the CEO and founder of the International Association of Black Triathletes. We are award-winning national nonprofit in 34 states, and for the last 7 years, we've been able to build grassroots initiative, launch grassroots initiative, build communities, and scale out business to where so I became the first African-American elected to the USAT Board of Directors for my work in the urban market, so that I can now teach them and in all the national governing bodies connected to the United States Olympic and Paralympic movement how to work in the urban market. And I am the senior consultant and owner of DTD's Urban Multi-Sport Consulting Firm, where we allow and help leaders and consultants, career professionals, and experts to go deep in not just how to launch grassroots initiatives, build those communities, but also scale your business, because the urban market needs you in all ways. So I thank you for allowing me to be on and look forward to being a part of this wonderful panel.
Very good, very good. All righty, Lillian, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So my name is Imarena Hue Lilian Ehiki. I am a Nigerian. I live in Italy. I am the founder of a nonprofit organization located in Nigeria called Edo Women Founders of Entrepreneurs. This nonprofit organization promotes, support, and encourage female entrepreneurship in Nigeria. So I'm very young in the sector. I've been into nonprofit since 2 years, and it's been a great journey. So I'm so happy, and I feel blessed to be here with all you amazing nonprofit founders. Thank you so much for this opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you, Lillian. Glad to have you. For Lillian, I think you said it's 1:30, but was maybe like 2:15 in the morning for her. So grateful for you to get up and join us this evening. Mai Waller, it's your turn, my dear.
Hello. How are you all? My name is Mai Waller. I am the founder of the Mace Anthony Williamson Foundation in Greensboro, North Carolina. And I started this organization in honor of my son, Mace Anthony Williamson. And I lost him tragically during a delivery it was a medical mistake, we'll say that happened, and it caused his death. And from that time on, I just realized that I knew I wanted to have a legacy for him, other than, having more children. Of course, I wanted to leave something behind for, in his name, as well as for my children. And what a better way to do it than starting a nonprofit. And I feel like the mission behind it, us having a doula program it's everything, because I just know that if I would have had someone like me, in the room, to support me and guide me and kind of watch over things, that my son probably would have been here today, but I wouldn't have had, the life that I have. And I think about it so much, like, oh my gosh, I miss Mace. What would life be like if he was here? But I can't even imagine it. I just can't, because I'm just so in the moment that I can't even think about, how it would have been. I can only kind of cherish where I'm at and just make this legacy one to remember and impactful as possible.
Very good, very good, very good. So again, I'm very honored to be able to share the stage with all of these ladies. Again, they bring a variety of different backgrounds, life experiences, knowledge, tips, and tools that I know for sure are going to help you to build your nonprofit and expand your mission. And of course, with that, make a more impactful impact on your communities. So with that, my reason again for starting Nonprofit CEO is because I can relate to being a member of a nonprofit, whether we're talking about serving on a board, being the executive director and actually having to run and manage things, or simply being a volunteer and just seeing, some of the things that's happening in the background and realizing that, nonprofits in general, their heart really is to serve the commission, that serve their communities. However, there are definitely some struggles that each one typically faces. And so part of the purpose of the conference is to pull everybody together, help them to be able to share some knowledge and share their know-how. So again, your nonprofit can be profitable. So a lot of you all are probably new nonprofit startups or have nonprofits that are 7 years and under. So with that, I feel like for this panel of individuals, they're going to be really good at kind of helping you to, meet that three-year milestone, meet that 5-year milestone, that 7-year milestone by again, the sharing their experiences and their tips and tools. So when I think of starting off a nonprofit, I think the very first thing you have to got to decide on is like, what type of nonprofit are you going to found or to start? Whether or not, if you want to do nonprofit versus for-profit, then there's the different types of nonprofits, and then of course, how are they going to be How are they going to be constructed? How are you going to build your board? How are you going to recruit your volunteers? How are you going to be able to connect with your community? What service exactly are you going to provide for them so that they know, one, that you're there, and two, that you can help meet their need. And so I would love to hear from you ladies. Y'all can take your mics off of mute if you want. I'm not going to call any particular names, but I would just love to kind of hear from you all, especially as founders. I'd love for y'all to share, why did you decide to go the nonprofit route in particular, and then in going the nonprofit route, how many of you are 501c3s, or if any of you all have a nonprofit that's not necessarily a C3, but one of the other 7 types, I would love to hear from you, or just share general information as far as what you know about those other types of nonprofits.
So I started, ooh, was that me? Oh, so sorry. Okay, so I started the extension of my for-profit from my nonprofit from my for-profit because I wanted to build community relationships around bringing resources into the urban market. The heart of the urban market is the urban community, and the heart of the urban community is none other than family. There are a lot of disparities that the urban community encounter, and the urban community is not based off of ethnicity per se, but more so a lack of socioeconomic demographics, health disparities, educational disparities, resources. And coming from a background of 25 plus years in education and extensive years in leadership and K-12 all the way through, I wanted to start the nonprofit because when we have a systemic approach of it takes a village to raise a family, and the urban market is just that, a village, I wanted to be able to bring those resources together to combat those issues, as well as extend the knowledge base of those living in an urban community, whether from a 2-parent family, a single-parent family, or a multi-generational family, that there are more to their lives than the 4 walls of the corner. And when you're able to bring those resources together, you teach and you learn. But more so, what we do is break generational curses. We break poverty. We're able to get them from on the unemployment line and off of welfare. And for me, that was important because I come from an urban market, right? Growing up, I didn't understand what poor was, but what I did understand was how rich I was in family values, ethics, morals, character, and things like that. And so continuing to this day, almost 15 years later in a nonprofit, or in a nonprofit world, bringing those connections together, collaboration versus competition will always outweigh. And that's the type of legacy that I want to leave, as my grandmother left for me. She had a PhD in urban culture. I only have a master's, but I hope to get to that PhD level before God calls me home. So that's why I started. And we are identified as a 501c3 nonprofit charitable. So it does allow us to solicit funding streams such as donations and things that really expand our funding funnel for sustainability purposes. So that was important for us, as opposed to the private foundation way, or the private nonprofit, or the foundation way. So
I can agree with you for sure.
Q, I'm curious, when you help nonprofits to get started, correct? As a business consultant, kind of tell our audience a little bit about the process as far as applying for that 501(c)(3) status and the advantages of that, and just what the process itself kind of looks like, whether we're talking the links, the paperwork itself, some of the information that you'll need to make sure that you have on hand. If you don't mind kind of speaking to that, I would love to hear a little more.
Yeah, definitely. I typically guide them through more of the infrastructure, but I can walk through just a little bit of the process, and then some of the ladies can join in as well. But I do know the Secretary of State in your state should be your friend. So you should go find the Secretary of State in your state and look through all of the requirements, documents that there are when you start to file. That is the first place that you want to go, and you want to have thought through your bylaws, your articles of incorporation, what type of status do you really need to set up, what's going to be the best status for what you're doing for your mission. You're going to want to even talk to the Secretary of State team. I know I have done that to make sure that I've been in compliance. You know, even as a fundraiser, there are charitable filings that you have to do, even in every state, which a lot of people sometimes are not aware of. But as a nonprofit, if you do plan across state lines for different donations or anything like that, we are supposed to also be registering in those states. So, you know, those are some things that you want to be aware of. Those are things that are starting to be on trend, as far as even the IRS catching more attention to and giving more attention to nonprofits and treating them very much like a business. So it is good for you to start there. That's what I will say. And I would love for some of the other ladies to chime in, but that is where I do tell the clients to go first. Let's do the research, make sure you understand all of the things, not just the more obvious things, but sometimes the things that are hidden, so to speak, that you do need to be aware of or that you're not thinking about. So, you know, there are just little intricacies that I do tell clients they want to think about too as they're moving forward with their nonprofit.
So for me, when I work with individuals as counselor and consultant, one of the first things, the state requirements, you assume name and see what other nonprofits are doing. But one of the things that I really ask them is, what is your niche? What is the unfulfilled need in the community? And what community will you set the nonprofit in? Because I believe that a lot of nonprofits, such as what we do, but there's still some unfulfilled things that we don't do. So you can look at a nonprofit and say, well, they're already doing it. But within the scope of what they're doing, what is unfulfilled? So one of the first things I do is get to know your Secretary of State, get to know the federal laws, but do you want to avoid competition or being in competition? Because one thing funders will not do is duplication. And so you want to be extremely careful when you start a nonprofit. I've never discouraged them, but I asked them to go back and do some homework. So one of the first things, I have an ebook attached to this conference, is that do your homework, determine what is an unfulfilled niche. And my example of that is when I was approached to start a nonprofit in a community that I was totally unfamiliar with, I needed to understand the niche. Having sat on many boards, I knew that there was some unfulfilled niches in the daytime where individuals who were experiencing homelessness had no place to go. And I asked that question, where do they go to get a piece of mail, or where do they go if they need to change clothes? That was an unfulfilled niche in the city of Chicago, which is boomerang out to 15 nonprofits taking that same type of approach in the city to begin to do daytime programs. We had a lot of overnights, and they do need a place to sleep, but in the daytime is when they can take control of their life and end their plight with homelessness. And so the services have to be there. Although right now it's very difficult to find funds for services because everyone wants to go brick and mortar. But that's where I start. I send them back and say, I want to do a nonprofit. What is the niche? What is the unfulfilled? What's the unfulfilled need in the community that you want to do your nonprofit in? I think they have to start there. All the paperwork and all of that is a part of it. And I so agree. But that needs to happen, in my opinion, first.
Yes, 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 yes. Lillian, considering your nonprofit is outside the United States, I'd love to hear just a little bit about the process. What does your process look like in order for you, being a Nigerian citizen, or at least a worker in Italy, but being from Nigeria, and then actually having your nonprofit based in another country, another continent? You know, if you would just kind of share a little bit about that for us for a minute.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, it's a little bit different from the United States. So when few years ago, when I was thinking, how am I going to use my own experience to help other women that may be facing the same situation or the same experiences I have experienced in the past. So I looked around me in Italy, and again I tried to look around in Nigeria. I discovered that many women in Nigeria may be more in need of what I was thinking about. So what I was thinking about was also a moment I discover what is my calling. So yeah, the first thing I did was to ask, how can I put up a nonprofit in Nigeria? So I went to Nigeria. No, before I went to Nigeria, I contacted a lawyer. So I explained to him what I wanted to do. So he put me through the process. Definitely, before I started asking information about how to put up a nonprofit in Nigeria, I already really looked into what is my niche, what I wanted to do, who are the people I want to serve, what is the problem facing the community, and what is the solution that I'm thinking I want to bring to this community. So of course, I also, because everything came out of my mind, so the first thing I was doing, which really helped me, is to really write down every moment, everything that I talked about. So I was, at a moment, I was really having a very clear picture of what really I want to do. So I asked the lawyer to go forward to provide me with all the necessary information. So in Nigeria, we have the organization is a government organ that take care of business registration in Nigeria. So they are called CAC, that is Corporate Commission, Corporate Affairs Commission. So as the lawyer was going after how to put up a non-profit, so I also decided to present my idea to the Nigerian women. So I organized my first presentation in Benin. That was January 2019. So when I presented this idea in this event, I had a lot of women who really appreciated the idea, who said, yes, we need it. Yes, we need it. So voila, we in the first place, we got this. We need to search, the Corporate Affairs Commission needs to search for the name of the organization, if the name is existing already, or if the name is not allowed or allowed to be used in Nigeria. So when we get the confirmation of a name after different rejection, so we started the process of registration, which took us about 3 months. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure there are probably lots of individuals that, now as a result of COVID, we're able to connect with people from all over the world. So I'm always intrigued, as I meet people like Lillian that are doing similar things, to see the differences in how our government, how our society, the processes that are in place. But in all honesty, no matter where you're at in the face of the earth, there's always a need, and there's always people that are willing, to sacrifice and do what they need to do in order to meet that need. So again, just my hands go out to all of y'all, my heart's got all of you guys for your willingness to serve within the community. Barbie, I would love to kind of hear just a little bit more about your nonprofit, and then your initial steps in getting it started, and maybe some of the struggles that you faced in that. Why did you decide to go the 501c3 route? And if you would take maybe about a minute or so. We have about 20 minutes left, so we got a lot to get in. And so if you guys don't mind, be mindful of that as you share for me.
Thank you so much. Yes, I got started in creating a nonprofit because of my own experience, which I find is what brings other people. They find and figure out their purpose, and then they want to share it with the world. And that's kind of how it was for me. It took me 3 years to get a proper diagnosis. I live with multiple rare diseases, and I knew that I was overtreated, undertreated, and mistreated, and that other people were going through similar challenges. And as I was finding my way through that, I was creating systems and processes that could help other people so they didn't have to have it so bad. And every year our family would do a project between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And the year after I got diagnosed, my brother and my dad said we should help other people like Barbie and going through those same challenges. And my dad said, well, if we're going to do that, we got to do it right. So we started the nonprofit. Talk about names. We actually started off with a different name than we go by now. And we were the Power of Pain Foundation because it talked about our purpose. But then we were spending so much time sharing why we chose that name instead of helping, getting right in and diving in and helping people, that we ended up changing it to International Pain Foundation in 2015. So from 2006 to 2015, we had a different name, and we had to go back through the name changing process. And we actually moved from the state of Virginia and being registered there to the state of Arizona. And so there was some differences between the two states and how that was all set up. So knowing that and really thinking ahead and planning and preparing, as Dr. Tekemia
Dorsey, Dr. Dorsey. We're just going to go by
Dr. Dorsey. In my head, it's right, and then I just can't say it. I'm so sorry. As she was saying, you really have to have the understanding of where you're going and what your purpose is, and then like choosing the name is so important. And if you find that you're on this path with your nonprofit, it's really important to make the changes that you need so that you can serve the audience that you're meant to serve.
Love it, love it, love it. So you mentioned finding purpose, mind you. And then of course you found your purpose through your struggle. I would love to just take a quick moment. Most of this talk is really going to be around like the actual structure of a nonprofit, but I think that something that's really important is making sure that you select key leaders within the nonprofit to run it, right? And so that would definitely be your board of directors, right? But also the board of directors is in charge of hiring an executive director. And I think that hiring the right executive director is definitely key, because they're the face of the organization, right? So that's the person who's going out, they're doing the networking, they're also paying the bills and handling the marketing, they wear many hats within that organization, right? And so I think knowing that they wear so many hats, it's really important for the director to have what, we would commonly refer to as grit, right? They got to have the right mindset, right? And so I'd love for you, Pri, to kind of speak to mindset, if you don't mind. Again, finding your purpose, serving within that purpose, but then also enduring in your purpose with the right mindset and the right heart, and just not growing weary, as you work day to day in trying to make a difference in people's lives.
Definitely, when it comes to mindset, oh my gosh, there's so much pressures from the outside world that can conflict with your ability to function properly and to, basically just to shine the best light within you. And so I would definitely say making sure that you have your meditation or prayer, whatever it is daily that you practice. I know with me, I do both. Every morning I meditate to really just to get my mind focused and clear, and just take away the noise. And then I pray as well, so that God can guide me in the right direction. And so I think that that's very important. And also affirmations are phenomenal. That's something that's definitely vital that I practice daily. Again, there's thoughts that can race through our mind that can be conflicted and make you doubt yourself, doubt everything that you have going on. It's just like, okay, let me remember, okay, I am strong. I am confident. I can do this. I can overcome any adversity that comes my way. And so, just being, just having a clear intention about your purpose and what it is that you want to offer in this world, and just to remain focused so that, those outside negative forces won't have an effect on your day-to-day functions.
Anybody else want to kind of speak to mindset before we move a little further in the discussion?
For me, one of the things that we looked at was having a board of directors. Although our family started the foundation, we wanted to have people outside of our circle and silo that could give other opinions and talk about the challenges that they were going through and the things that needed to be fixed from a different angle. So making sure that you have a well-represented board of directors, that you all have something different to bring to the table with different talents and tools is really important.
Yes, diversity. We talked a little bit about that in our previous, a little earlier, we filmed another one of these panel discussions. We talked about the importance of having diversity in regard to background, but also diversity in regard to skill set. Again, you have a variety of different people that are able to bring just a different perspective, to that plan and help build the plan. So again, you're just being more effective out in your community. Now, when it comes to building that board, what are some determining factors to you all that people need to keep in mind to say no when certain people express interest on being your board? What are things that you guys would say, hey, that person may or may not be a good fit for your nonprofit?
Your homie, your cousin, your mama, your boyfriend, your best friend, your neighborhood friend. Friends, nope. If you we talked earlier about the board assessment, right, or SWOT analysis. You need to, and part of that pre-planning, you need to figure out what does it take to have key people in positions: marketing, fundraising, secretary, treasurer, leadership, lawyer, all of those things, but then people that's reflective of your community. And more times you want people that are willing to work or who have demonstrated work already. Oftentimes, we talked earlier, Q was talking about a working board versus a governance board. And any nonprofit needs to have a working board. That means that whoever is a part of your board is ready to work, not just coming to the table just saying, hey, I'm on TIF's board. Yay. No, it's not about being cute, right? And also making sure that you have in place as a nonprofit leader and as a nonprofit board, your standard operating procedures, your bylaws, your volunteer guides, your training, background checks, making sure that everything that you need internal outside of the paperwork is going to protect your assets.
Right.
Right. And that's going to be important. And so as you're thinking about the diversity of your board, think about more so people you don't know versus people you know, because people you know should be on board wanting to help without having a seat at the table. You want really people to have connections, people that have insight, people that can stand on their own 2 feet without having to jump on a bandwagon to make themselves notable, right? Because in a public charity, there is no notoriety. The notoriety is the public charity. We are just there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So when you're thinking about bringing and attracting people, what are you good at? Tekima is good at building, right? I can build a program with my mind closed. So if I'm good at building with my mind closed, and Tiff is great at, getting grants, I don't need to be the grant maker and a community builder. I need to bring Tiff in. If Q is great at consulting off the ground with bringing people in and getting our paperwork together, I need Q on my team because she's going to help the infrastructure. I need Tiff on my team because she's going to help grants. And I'm going to go out and build relationships. I need Dr. Stinson because she knows how to make a nonprofit $1 million. I'm just saying. But let's just think about the diversity of the skill sets and the people in what they already have as individuals before you bring them in and say into your board. And here's the $1 million question. Will you invite these people into your house with your kids at dinner? If not, do you want to bring them into your board of directors? Because guess what? That's your baby.
Yeah. I think that's good. And I know we have a short time. I think that you need people of influence and affluence on your board. We've struggled with that. And Dr. Dorsey's right. I had to really shift my board in 10 years because when at the beginning, as a nonprofit startup, you're going to have your friends. You're going to have, but at some point, you have to know when to move them off and begin to get those individuals. Average nonprofit lasts for 3 years. We've heard that. And we all start with family. We did. But now I had to move family off. And let me tell you, sometimes it is difficult because now family takes ownership. And so you have to be very careful when you start that board to let them know that there are term limits. And I need you here for the inception of this, but things will change. So you're right. You may have to start with family. You may have to start with friends, but you also have to be very strategic as to how you want that nonprofit to go, or it will surely die.
Well, and I would interject and say you want to think through conflict of interest. So if you're bringing on someone and you've been working with them for a long time, or you know you're going to have to deal with a lot of conflict of interest because of the relationship, there may be a no. They may be more well suited to work on a committee or to come in and volunteer in a different capacity rather than a board member. Or they may be better suited to be an advisory board member. But you really want to think through that because there are some key foundations that consider it not to be a best practice if relatives are serving on the board because they don't believe there can be objectivity there, which is another reason why a lot of people don't also pull in 2 people from the same company to serve on their board. So, I think those are things that, there are times we do have to say no, and those are things that you really have to think through. So that's a great question.
Yes. I think I would add to that just would be one, making sure that people that serve on your board, that they're not there simply for the title, that, you know, they're just trying to fulfill a spot on their resume. Those are not the people that you want on your board. You want people who are who are generous. And when I say generous, I mean people that are going to want not only give money, but those are the people who are willing to give their time, right? You want to make sure that you get board members that are what I call big mouths. And so, but not everybody's a big mouth, and I mean that in the most positive term, but those are the people who don't mind. They almost like attention, right? But because they like attention, like they don't have any problem telling the world about your mission and what you're doing. And they are really, you know, they're the I personalities in my attention, my opinion, you know, and I within the DISC program, they are all about people. You know, you want those people, they're normally connectors. They're able to draw people to your organization. So again, you have people who are willing to volunteer. They're going to be really good at getting people who are willing to give. And then they're going to find people who are willing to help you with those corporate sponsorships. People that are willing to help with, as far as, you know, just collaborating with the community events and things that are happening in your area, but also just helping you as far as resources. And so, you know, board members, you know, they're people, in my opinion, who are willing to clean toilets. Like they'll do whatever's needed in order to advance the mission because they realize that it's not about them. So I think, you know, the same way that we normally get involved in nonprofit because we really care, again, that's the same no matter you're talking executive directors, founders, board members, volunteers, everybody from the beginning of the chain to the bottom. At the end of the day, it's really all about heart. All right, so I want to spend like the last few minutes here, ladies. I want to talk about some of the myths that you guys have encountered, or the things that you believe are common beliefs in the community when it comes to nonprofits. And anyone can go, just whatever it is that comes to mind when you think of a myth that's normally associated with the nonprofit, that we can combat those with truth.
We are terrible, and we're supposed we're terrible, and we're supposed to give it away, and we are not supposed to make money, and we are not supposed to get a decent salary. Those are the myths that I've ran into. Okay, yes. Where if you know, if I made $300,000 and I don't, okay, you shouldn't be doing it because it's a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. I could say more, but I know we have a few minutes. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much. She's right on, but she's right on point when it comes to the salaries, whether we're talking salaries or just the profitability of the nonprofit in general. They're not supposed to be poor. Like they're supposed to serve their industry, mind you, but also, you know, but they need money to do that. And then you not only need money to do the mission, but you need money for the people that want to stay and be dedicated. It's like people will work for money. So, you know, that does count. Go ahead, Q. What did you want to say?
Well, I was just going to say a lot of people think that nonprofits don't do a whole lot of work, that we're just kind of socializing, chilling with people that we serve. We work so hard. In fact, we are one of the hardest working industries, which is why self-care is so important in what we do. So I definitely agree in being compensated. We definitely need to be compensated for the work that we do. But that is one myth that I've seen. And again, treating the nonprofit as though it's not a business, as though it's only, you know, about the mission, that's so not true. It's about the business of the mission. It's also about the business of the business. So I would definitely say those are some things as well that are myths.
Very good. How about Pri or Mai or Lillian? We hadn't heard much from those ladies. I want to make sure that I give you guys an opportunity to jump in.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I really just hold on. Sorry. Oh, okay. I thought I was on mute, but I'm not.
No, you're fine. We hear you.
Well, as far as the board, I can speak from experience and say I chose my friends of 13 plus years because they're also lost mothers. You know, they're women who have experienced what I've experienced. So what I was trying to do was trying to really get one. They don't even have to be African-American, but they are African-American. I wanted to get lost parents, people who could speak from experience, because I knew when I was going through what I was going through with my son, I didn't want to hear what someone learned. I wanted to see what you went through. How can you help me get through this? Let me see the other side. So I have me and two other women who've experienced, and another one of my board members. She's kind of in the background, but she's experienced loss. I have 4 women, including myself, who have experienced child loss in different ways that can speak on our mission. And we literally are the message behind the mission, because we are all women who have needed support in some way, form, or fashion during pregnancy that's led to the demise of our children. You know, so that's, I can speak when I say board of success, 100%. You can't just say, can't count out your friends, because some friends bring really great assets to your nonprofit, which they bring experience, they bring character, they bring selflessness, they bring organization, and they're goal oriented. You know,
It's
so
probably the reason why you chose them as friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're lifelong. So, you know, it was beyond the friendship. It was more of, you know, you as a person. Look, I would, if I was on the street and I had to choose, you would probably be someone that I would ask to be on my board, because you could speak from experience, you know?
Okay. All righty, very good. So with that, ladies, because I'm right at the end of my time, I want to give everybody 15 seconds, and I want you to share with the audience either one, how people can get in touch with you, or if there's just anything that you did not have an opportunity to express and you just want to leave a last nugget of wisdom. 15 seconds to do that for me, and I would love that. Then we're going to close up, okay? Dr. Stinson, you can go first.
Okay, I'm Dr. Stinson. I'm in Chicago. You can reach me at my website at sonjastinsonministries.org. And I have an ebook that's going to be free during the conference, and I'm looking forward to you being in the conference. Thank you.
Mai?
Hi. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I was in the chat. My name is Mai Waller. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida. I currently live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I represent the Mace Anthony Williamson Foundation, and we are the voice for mothers and babies.
Very good. I said May, didn't I? I'm so sorry.
Yep, it's okay.
We laughed at the very beginning of this about the fact that I'm just not good with names, even when it's written on the screen. So okay. Lillian.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I am also a Google Ads strategist. So I help small media business to appear on Google search page whenever your product or your services is being searched for. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn with my name, Imarenahuelilian, or you can also reach me through email, b.lilianehige@gmail.com. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to say, Lillian, I want to say that she's doing her presentation on using Google Ads to advance your nonprofit. Be sure to download the guide so that you can know when to check out her presentation. Okay, so like again, everybody has really great info, mind you. But when I think of marketing and ads, that's not something that I have a strength in, and so I will be following her direction. So I just want to make sure I pointed that out. Dr. Dorsey.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. I appreciated the one myth that I wanted to talk about in my 15 seconds is that your nonprofit doesn't belong to you. It's a public charity. What belongs to you is your consulting firm, your social enterprise, but not your nonprofit. However, for those nonprofits out there, leaders, even business owners, small business, over the last 30 years, I've been able to develop the 5-step formula to reach the urban market, and that can be any market, to build communities, launch grassroots initiatives, and to scale your business. And if you're looking for a way to cut through, not just the surface, but really go deep, building communities, launching and scaling your business, make sure that you tune in to my webinar or to my speak. And if you want to learn more information, please reach out to www.urbanmultisportconsulting.com. You can give us a call at 443-267-8783, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Very good, very good. I think, Dr. Dorsey, I want to say that you may be on Wednesday evening. Don't hold me to that, though. All righty, Pri.
Hey, so yes, I go by the name of Pri Speaks. I am a motivational speaker and self-love coach. You can find me at prispeaks.com or on Instagram. You can go ahead and send me a DM. My Instagram is Pree _speaks, SPAKS. Thank you.
All right, very good. So for your nonprofit leaders, if you're looking for someone to speak at your special event so that you can help raise more funds and bring awareness to your cause, Free Speaks would be your girl. All righty, Marquetta Finley. I think I did it right. Marquetta, I said it correctly, right? No, not really.
But it's okay. Marquetta Finley, but they also call me Q, founder again of Extraordinary Business Consulting. You can reach us at www.extraconsulting.com. That's extra without the E. And we love to say that we want to take you from the ordinary to the extraordinary. So we love working with nonprofits, and I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, Tiffany.
Very good. And finally, Miss Barbie, excuse me.
Yes, again, I'm Barbie Ingle, and you can reach me at barbie@internationalpain.org. International Pain is the foundation that I work for. And if you have any needs in healthcare, especially with chronic pain or rare disease, I'm your gal. Give me a ring, look me up, and check us out.
All righty. Thank you, ladies. I definitely appreciate all of your nuggets of wisdom again, and just taking time out to share with our audience. Now, I'll say real quick, all of these ladies, actually all of the speakers that you've heard throughout the conference, they are a part of should be a part of our network. And so as network members, you guys will have access to a directory, so that if you want to reach out to any of these ladies and work with them one-on-one, or just, ask questions or what have you, through that network, you'll be able to contact them directly. So again, I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I hope that you enjoyed the conference. Again, I hope to see you on Friday during our master classes, which will be hosted through Zoom, and on Friday evening, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will do our networking. Okay. All right. So everybody take care. Again, enjoy the summit. We have thoroughly enjoyed being able to connect with you. All righty, y'all. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.